Yes, we have.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, I gotta figure out how I'm supposed to send this one on later. Back to that, and not going for it. Bigger. Yeah, last year I had actually been down there, and that worked a lot better. We're actually getting. I can do that. I will be right next. Okay, I'll be down there for 603. 630, okay, like June 30th. Yeah, yep, okay.
Thank you very much.
No problem.
Oh, no. Yeah. Oh.
Well, real dusty here. It's busting like that. Probably.
how big a few now.
All right, take good questions you need, and then I'll bring it back. I saw a guy named Richard downstairs.
Better than what I've been to.
I understand somebody's gonna get hurt. Yeah. Yeah, safety pins. Where they follow safety pins. Yeah. What I shouldn't do like this, I'm struggling.
Feel awkward sitting at my skirt, like nobody will have to say.
You love the cats. Sure.
There's no mountain. I still don't know. And maybe.
Not hard, but maybe he would do
Come on.
I got it.
There was.
Right. The audience here.
I gotta be.
Yeah, I put mine kind of back. So, we're gonna get ready. Yeah, like, yeah, they have to. Oh, yeah. Yeah, so. We'll like you something.
Okay, like,
I'm sorry. Oh, you could. Like, I got a knife and. Hey, bye. Oh, yeah. Yeah, you did. But I still have to do.
Yeah.
It's like, they didn't give me that time. So I'm usually having been hiding my house. So have an idea of individually with how people see. Probably have.
You know, so, I mean, now for like, all the.
Yeah.
Take breakfast this morning. People got the list.
Yeah.
I guess you can't really.
Yeah. Well, like, I can do it probably in half an hour.
Like I said, I was like. I mean, I didn't say anything, I was like.
Yeah, it's like. Say what to do that was like that, makes me think you have the same thing and somebody slow right down and again.
Well.
And that. And I'm like. Yeah, it's sort of, no, it's not bad. If somebody had. It should be about. Yeah. And I know it's. On the way. And I understand that.
Doug was like.
And this. I mean, it's not a lot of things.
No. And then like 5 minutes later. She was like. Like I said, I just want to check in and see if, I know last year. I wish. I would be the person who would be driving on the ground. Is there anybody else? No, that's perfect.
Yeah.
Well, I should say, I know that one. I think there's like 3 or something.
Yeah, we were supposed to have 3 delegates from home, but there's all. So, yeah, it's.
Any idea who you got the light back?
Oh,
Any idea where they come from?
I think like switches are down. They're in one of those best.
One of the guys was doing.
I don't know. I don't know. He went down to tell you guys about the guys.
Good morning. Can everybody hold the mic?
Speak more into it.
For those that were here last year, I remember these lights, but I'm not smart enough to remember how we remediated them. So we can't really see for them. That means you must demonstrate wow. And there's a table out back, and I want you all to visit them. It's Dem Women's from Cleveland County. And I'm not, okay. She's waving the sign, but I think
Tickets for a week at a resort next to Disney World. It sleeps 10, 3 bedrooms, 3 baths, the week of July 4th. And you can, it's wonderful. And plus there's, you win $100 for gas or $50, $10, only $10 a ticket.
and is it true you have to demonstrate for a half hour anti-extinction while you're there?
Yes.
All right, anyhow, you visit them, this can be a little informal, things will come up, and we'll try to make an announcement. We'll try to be flexible about the agenda to accommodate our guest speaker. We're not totally sure what time that'll be, so, everybody's got to, be a little bit, accommodating today. Welcome, thank you for joining us. I'm overwhelmed because, I was concerned that, people, other districts are doing this virtually, which, by the way, I will disavow that I said that. I'm not sure that virtual conventions are actually within the scope of the plan of organization. So welcome, we are here and we're doing it the right way. I haven't. I'm excited about today. We've got some good things going on, and we're going to, let me just say that this about kind of putting it in perspective, and then I'll move on. This has been a tough year for Democrats, and it's going to get tougher. going to get harder because the Republicans have institutionalized their ability to draw districts to determine who they want to represent. It's the opposite of the way democracy works, but demo is not in their name, it's in our name. So it's going to get worse. And so I look at this as the beginning of the rebuild year. And I hope you all continue to be as fervent in your desire to support our party because it's going to get tough. With that, I'm excited that we are here. We have a formal welcome from, that's right, I have to read. We have an inclusion statement. Yeah, this, all right, I'm gonna do my best here. North Carolina Democratic Party inclusion statement. All public meetings of the North Carolina Democratic Party at all levels shall be open to all registered Democrats, regardless of race, sex, age, color, creed, national origin, religion, ethnic identity, sexual orientation, gender identity and expression, economic status, or disability. In order that the Democratic Party at all levels be an open party, which includes rather than excludes people from participation, a program of effective affirmative action has been adopted by the North Carolina Democratic Party. Discrimination on the basis of status in the conduct of the North Carolina Democratic Party affairs is prohibited. Thank you. It is my pleasure. Thank you. Oh. Oh, thank you. Okay, yeah. Who are we? In case you don't know, I'm Doug Auer, currently serve as chair. Donna Lucky, our first vice chair, who, by the way, I will say, does 110% of the preparation of this debate. Second vice chair, Betsy Wells. And I aspire to be 1/3 as good a district chair as Betsy has been over the years. And I predict that there will be a reconfiguration of the 10th congressional district. I don't think you have to be a genius to know that's going to happen. And I think Cleveland will be split apart for the ambitions of certain people in the House of Representatives. Right? So this could be, all right?
Happy to be here.
Indeed. Happy to have Harriet Johnson, our third vice chair from Lauderdale County. Our Secretary Jill Miller, Lauderdale County. I was so fortunate, and we are so fortunate, we kind of inherited David Griffith, who is our treasurer. David was the treasurer in Perth, and that's why Perth is such an aggressive county and well managed. But also went to the 5th, right? You were treasurer of the 5th, and then we got reconfigured and I got it back. So that was cool. Thank you very much. What are we doing? Oh, slide please. Oh, Cliff Moon. Our president Gary. Former chair of the Province. Former 10th district chair. I mentioned this the other day. Careful now. I had an interest, as many of you know, I grew up in another state. I'm not allowed to say New York because that's me flags. And well, I tried to point out that upstate New York, let's be clear, is Republican. And I grew up in upstate New York, so, I'm used to where we live, this kind of thing. Anyhow, I got interested in local and state politics and found Cliff, and Cliff mentored me and thought, that this would be a good aspirational activity. And he never told me what the job was as the chair. Glamorized it. Yeah. Thank you for serving as our public. You will get Mike's time later. Okay, Mary Frances White, former Please come, and, I know you've got opening.
Good morning, Democrat.
Good morning.
Our keynote speaker, all program participants and guests. I greet you with an attitude of delight this morning. I know that many of you have taken the time away from your busy schedule and made it possible to be here to be a part of the 10th district. Surely you have come to the North Carolina 10th Congressional District Democrat Convention with an attitude of pleasant anticipation. On behalf of the Lincoln County Democrat Party, officers and members, it is my pleasure to welcome each of you this morning to our city. I hope each of you felt welcome when you crossed into Lincoln County this morning, whether you travel from the east, west, north, or south. Be assured that you are welcome. Welcome 10th District.
Thank you very much. In every county, this has been a difficult year with, I'm sure, folks that have been solid participants who may not be with us anymore. For that, I would like to recognize a moment of silence, please. Thank you. And we now have the opportunity for our third vice chair, Harriet, to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. Oh, yeah, and please remain standing for the salute to the North Carolina flag. And Donna, oh, I'm bad. Wait, we're gonna do the national anthem. Thank you. Zakia Hamilton.
Oh, say, can you see stars early night? What so proudly we as white as gleam, whose bright stripes and bright stars through for the mercy you are so each are still there. Oh, say does that heart thankful and not yet for the land
With the flag of North Carolina and flag of the United States.
That was inspirational. Thank you, Zakia. And Donna. Betsy, you have a recognition of our officers, please. What could
Thank you, Doug. On the sheet that was downstairs, I didn't see any elected officials that had signed up. I do know that Mary Frances White is a former town councilman here in Lincolnton. Any others, any other elected officials out there among the group? Well, I hope that I see David Parker here, who is our former state chair and district chair. Burnett, who is our former candidate for district. Jennifer Lyons, who ran for Congress. Anybody else? Well, next. And I said,
You said.
I did. Well, next year, or maybe by that time we'll have 4 here, but thank you all for coming. And we're just going to go back to our individual counties, because isn't it wonderful together, and to see each other face to face. And that it re-energizes us, charges our batteries to go back into our counties and to elect Democrats.
All right, thank you. Preliminaries are now satisfied, and we will call the convention with the 10th Congressional District to order. And we will ask Joe Miller to come up and call for the roll, please.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning. If you are an official county delegate, when I call the county, if you would please raise your delegate button or your hand and announce yourself so I can jot your name down as well, please. We'll start with Alexander. Okay, and how about just any name?
Chair, the delegation chair, y'all should, your delegation chair should announce their name, and then each county let us know that you're in the house. Delegation chair.
Thank you. Alexander.
Yes. Yeah, Alexander.
Next, we have Burke County.
Burke County, United States.
Burke County, thank you.
Burke County.
Catawba.
Catawba County is here, Deborah Hollingsworth.
Thank you, Deborah. Cleveland County.
Cleveland County, we're here.
Thank you, Kent. Cleveland, welcome. Ireland County. And that's also my home county, so, yay. Up next, we'll have Lincoln County. Okay. And the delegation chair for Lincoln? Steve Gilligan, thank you, sir. Colwell, sorry, I overlooked that earlier.
Oh, up here, Kimberly Knapp.
Gaston. Crocker, thank you. And last but not least, Rutherford County. Tell me your name.
Courtney Bohan.
Courtney, thank you, ma'am. Yes, we do have one.
Yeah, thank you. Every county represented. We have a message from our new state chair, Anderson Clayton. I think excuse me. I think many of you know that, I actually recognize David Parker for a lot of that. You know, back in November after the election, I think there was a sense, especially out west, what I would call, west of I-77, that we need some change. And I think David was instrumental in getting us to change, and here it is. Fantastic. Please roll, thank you.
Hey, District Government, welcome to your 2023 District Convention. Thank you all so much for taking the time to be here with us today. My name is Anderson Clayton. I have the honor and the privilege of serving as your state party chair. And I just want to say thank you. After the last 3 years of the pandemic, we've seen that you could be doing anything with your time, and you're here today with us to say that we're fighting for a better future for our democracy. And during the last 4.5 weeks, honestly, have been hard. Not just this last week with the abortion vote that we've had come down and an abortion override from our Republican state legislature, but also the fact that we've had and voting rights from our Supreme Court that came down. They asked us to implement now voter ID in fall and municipal elections and also in 2024. We've also seen it when we have the repeal of the pistol permit that ended up being more guns in our communities, right? We've seen it from every single end that Republicans in Raleigh are fighting against a vision forward for North Carolina. And you here today are putting more energy and time into fighting for a better version of North Carolina, a different future. And so I just want to say thank you. And I want to say keep up the fight, because 2023 and 2024 isn't going to get easier. It's going to get harder. But Democrats are resilient. We're the party of resistance. And I'm asking all of you to dig in deep and make sure that you are committing your time and energy into putting more people to register to vote this year. We need to be doing voter registration drives across our state to ensure that more folks are hearing from our party now than ever. We need to be enforcing and emphasizing the good things of the bipartisan infrastructure bill and the American Rescue Plan Act are putting into communities every single day. And we need to ensure that folks know the Democratic Party is working for them, because we know right now that are listening to this. I want to challenge you to do one thing. That's give your time and your energy and dig in hard into what we're going to do in 2023 and 2024 across our state. We're here to change everything this year. We're fighting for every single person's right to exist freely and to be able to have opportunity across every zip code in our state. Thank you all so much for joining us for District Convention today. If you haven't seen me on the road yet, or Jonah Carson, Kim Hardy, or Elijah King, you will soon. We're coming to a county in town near you. So if you want us there, let us know. Please send us an email. We'd love to get out to everywhere and share with y'all this mission and this vision future of North Carolina. Thanks everybody so much. We appreciate you.
If you find somebody more dynamic, let me know. Adoption of the agenda, you all have that in front of you, the chair will entertain motion.
I move to adopt as submitted.
David Parker, thank you.
Second.
Who's the second? I should have mentioned that, when you raise name, county, and whatever it is you're responding to, thank you. Good with that, so. Yeah, motion's been made and seconded to adopt the agenda. Without discussion, I think we're fine to quickly move to a vote. All those in favor, please raise your tag. That's a lot. All opposed, please like sign. Any opposed? Agenda carries. We now move to the rules of the day. You have those in your packet. The chair will entertain a motion to approve. Do we have a second? Motion made and seconded. Any discussion or debate, or would you like a couple minutes just to roll through them and or is everybody comfortable? Is everybody good with them, or do you want to spend a moment with them? I prefer not to read them. It's detailed. All right, let's go to a motion. Those in favor of the rules of the day, please raise your tag. Thank you. All those opposed, please raise your tag. Seeing none, motion carries. The rules of the day carry. We have also provided the minutes. And we'll entertain I'll be Bill Miller. I don't think do we need a motion? Okay. Chair, I'll entertain a motion to carry, that is said to, accept the, minutes.
Your name.
All right, I'm gonna give you a brief of the minutes from 20.
Mr. Chairman, David Parker Ardell, I move suspension of the reading of the minutes and acceptance as submitted.
Motion's been made. Second, who's second, please? Thank you. All those in favor, please raise your hand. Thank you. All those opposed, similar, motion carried. Minutes have been approved.
they have.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, pretty correct. That was the first part, yes, that's correct.
So now approving the minutes, those in favor, the minutes from 22, thank you. Those opposed? And motion carries, thank you. We now come up to the treasurer's report, and David will walk us through. Thank you.
Okay, basically, pretty simple. This is more or less what we spent last year. And you notice we did spend $2,000 to have the minutes campaign. But the state and two different donations covered most of that. But otherwise, basically, we have expenses for our website, Karen Turner. And last year we had bank service charges, which I have changed bank, and that will be deleted this year. We do not have any more of the bank service charge. And there's total expenses, and our balance sheet this morning was $2,921.72, pretty simple. For this coming year, we have this building, and I want to spend a minute on this, it's going to cost us about $600. That's what this auction stuff up here for, to try to help cover and defray some of that cost. But please, look good on, hey, anyhow, put the money out there. And then our Zoom sonic, agreement $149.90, and with present what we got, we'll end up with about $1851.82. We get money here, and I don't think the state will donate money to us this year, because it's usually only on the election year. Questions?
Is there a question? Yes, can you come to? Oh, right. Oh, you have, or do you have a mic? Oh, okay, I can't see. I saw, thank you. I think there's a button here. I think it's on there. Yeah. If you were close. Thanks, Cliff.
Kevin Sparks, Good Talk. Will this be made available online, or can it be? I did not receive it. I'd be very interested in seeing it. That's.
Get a smartphone, you can
I do, would I rather be able to review it electronically. Oh, thanks. Thank you very much.
All right, so we have a list of delegates, and we will send out post-convention, some of the missing items like that slide. Or actually, I think we can send the whole bag. Yeah, we'll send the whole bag. Okay, great. I mentioned earlier, we're flexible here with the guest speakers, arrival. So I think without objection, again, keeping it loose, let's move to the elections of officers and then come back to the regular schedule. And I've asked our parliamentarian, Cliff Moon, to discuss, you know, the way the officers are elected, there's certain ramifications to doing this and then that happens. And can you help us walk us through that?
Yes, sir.
if I may also have a moment of personal privilege, Mr. Chair. One of the things I note that we didn't have any presently elected officials in the room. That's something previous, but also something I think is really important. If we are, as Chairman Anderson Clayton pointed out, the party of resistance at this time in history, then it is almost just as important to acknowledge those people in this room today and across our district who have put their personal lives and things on the line and running, and often, and actually most of the time recently, come in second in these elections. But so if you are a former candidate for any office in our district, would you please rise at this moment? So thank you very much. That is, I know very well what that means. So thank you. And we continue on, and we will persist. Section 3.04 of the Plan of Organization of the Democratic Party of North Carolina reads as follows: the Congressional District Executive Committee shall have as officer a chair, 3 vice chairs, and a secretary, elected pursuant to Section 6.01. The first vice chair must be of a different gender identity from the chair. Where there are sufficient counties in a district, no 2 elected officers shall live within the same county. Among the chair and the 3 vice chair offices, one of these must be filled by a person of racial or ethnic minority, which constitutes at least 20% of the registered Democrats in that district. And one of these offices must be filled by a person 36 years of age or younger. Any office not elected at the convention shall be considered vacant. Officers of a congressional district executive committee shall be registered Democrats residing within the congressional district. Note, please, also, should we have any vacant offices, that gender, racial, or ethnic and age requirements need not be followed if filling a vacancy by the district executive committee. Officers shall acknowledge and agree to comply with the letter and the spirit of the most recently adopted North Carolina Democratic Party Code of Conduct. What that last part actually means too, not the Code of Conduct part, but just before that, means that the district executive committee would meet if there were any vacancies of any of these offices and would be able to elect a person or person if necessary to fill those roles. Do I have any questions for anybody? Must have read.
Thank you, Cliff. At this point, I'm going to yield the chair to the first vice chair, Donald Lovell.
Okay, I will open the floor for nominations for chair at this time. Do I hear any nominations for chair? Doug Auer from Catawba County has been nominated. Are there any other nominations? Not at this time. I have to ask first. If there's any other nominations? Again, are there any other nominations for chair? Hearing none, I will recognize Jerry to close nominations. And entertain a motion to accept acclamation. So moved. And if this body would like to cheer, shout.
I pledge that in the next 2 years, I'll figure out what this job's all about.
I'll tell him this time.
Thank you. I appreciate the comments. We'll move to the election of the first vice chair and open the floor to nominations. Delegation and the name, please.
King County, Rich Water. I second, Steve Ives for the house.
Thank you. Are there any other nominations for first vice chair, which again, based on the parliamentarian's reading, has to be an opposite gender, so keep that in mind. Yes. Keep that in mind. One more time, do we have any nominations from the floor for first vice chair? And I'll ask again, do we have any further nominations for first vice chair? Chair's motion to close nominations by acclamation. If there's no objection, Donna Lucky is the first vice chair. We now come to the office of second vice chair. And again, before I want to reiterate for the next two positions, the criteria that were outlined by the plan of organization.
Can you identify?
The two, yeah, Lincoln and Catawba. So you've got regional balance here, you've got gender, age, and race, and there's a complicated puzzle here. Yeah. Right, and so with that, Chair recognizes.
Yes, Kent Blevins, Chair of Cleveland County Democratic Party. Well, I'd like to make a nomination, place Betsy Wells in nomination for second vice chair. I'm just into my second term as chair of Cleveland County. It's been a steep learning curve, but Betsy has been a tremendous font of information and counsel, and she's, I think most people here know her long service, and not just at the county level, but district level and state level. And whatever the latest redistricting, whatever district that puts her in, she's usually in the leadership of the district. So yes, Betsy Wells for second vice chair.
Thank you, Ken. I would, although I would be happy to entertain a second, it's not required, but we're happy to have it engaged. Okay, great. We're going to ask one more time now. Any other nominations for second vice chair? Seeing none, any other nominations for second vice chair? And third time now. I have to ask you the third time. I was winding up to it. Are there any other nominations for second vice chair? And if not, do I hear a motion? By acclamation, without objection, second vice chair, that's about. We now move to the third vice chair and open the floor to any nominations for third vice chair. Thank you. Do we have any other nominations for third vice chair? And do we have any other nomination for third vice chair? I'm going to take one pause and I'll be back. Any other nomination? If not, close the nomination and by acclamation, Happy to have Harry. Yeah, if we could have a motion to close nomination without objection. Motion approved. Third Vice Chair Harry Johnson, thank you.
Secretary.
We now move to the election of the secretary. Actually, that's of the primary officers.
We don't have none. Did you say, that we have to have a young judge in our?
Oh,
That part of the-
Among the chair and the 3 vice chair offices. Okay. According to the plan of the organization. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I just want to be clear, because you thought you said earlier, but, one of these must be filled by a person. A racial, ethnic minority which constitutes at least 20%. This has been covered. Of the registered Democrats in the district. And one of these offices must be filled by a person 36 years of age or younger.
We're in violation of the organization.
Are you asking for my
Yeah,
opinion?
it's parliamentary.
Okay. The parliamentarian has no opinions, you don't read what's. The answer to that, I mean, the facetious. The answer to that is yes.
How do we fix it?
Um,
How do you fix it?
according, well, I'm gonna tell you based on the will of this convention, okay, at the moment to this point. And this doesn't have anything to do with electing the secretary. Okay, that's what you
Yeah,
understood
yeah.
there. You can declare, we can declare by vote that one of these offices is vacant. Then, as I read before, but I'm not sure everybody will, Pam. So, and then the district executive committee will, we can do one of two things. We can elect a different person, but you have already, by the will of the convention, by acclamation, voted for those persons who filled those posts at the moment. But we could, by another vote, overrule one of those offices and declare it vacant. I believe I'm correct on that. And then the district executive committee could meet and fill the position. Once they meet, they could fill the position in a variety of ways, but one of the ways they could fulfill the position would be with the person who you just voted. Am I being clear? Everybody, does it matter? I'm going to make, this is a great teaching moment. Okay. Since it was raised, and thank you, Pam, for raising it. No, I'm joking. I'm not joking. David Parker would have just run right on. That's the way David Parker does. But anyway, Cliff is a teacher and he explains things. But anyway, so as a teaching moment, what does it matter was her question. Okay. And it matters in terms of being in line with the plan. However, and I'm very cautious when I say this, all of you who know about the time I spent, thanks to David Parker, on the Plan Organization Review Committee. Unless one of you, who is a delegate to this convention, and thereby has standing at this convention, objects and fills out with witnesses a petition to the Council of Review challenging what goes on here today, then nothing happens. You understand? Okay, nothing happens. And we just keep going forward. Yes, I'm sorry. Yes, sir. Didn't think she was either, Jerry. I just, but I'm not going to wade into those waters. Okay. As a 73-year-old man, I'm not wading into any waters. But anyway. Okay. If everybody is clear, I will now return this to the appropriate person to make rulings, the chair. Well, then, oh gosh, you're gonna put Donald Lucky up here. Anybody want to do? All right. Good deal. Thank you, Pam. I'm open in the sun there.
The chair will entertain a motion to challenge the. Excuse me, the chair will entertain a motion to challenge the election of the third vice chair and thereby. Yes, ma'am. I didn't get there, but I'm not there yet. Mayor recognizes Max Densky name and. Yes, sir.
The census from 2020, there are no minority populations of more than 20%.
Elected for Democrat. You'd have to look up, and Donna looked up, so Donna looked that up before the meeting. Excuse me, I don't use the microphone, I don't believe, everybody hear me? Yeah, that preacher voice works every time, okay. Donna looked that up before the meeting, and we do have 32% of over the 20% of African Americans registered Democrats in the district. I think that's the only racial minority that qualifies at that level. So, and I don't know what else you're going to say, though, so I confirm.
I'd like to say that I would ask the executive committee to create a nomination committee so that for the next congressional district, we may be able to develop minority candidates and younger candidates can move up.
Yes, sir, thank you. Reasonable request. Yes, sir, to name delegation, to what point do you rise?
Kent Blevins, Cleveland County, it's to the issue of where we were in the agenda, which was nominations for secretary, if I recall. And so we had a question raised, there was an explanation. I move that we proceed with the agenda and move on to nominations for the position of secretary.
Seconded. Any debate?
This is a fascinating day for parliamentarians. Unusual here, but I would say that without objection, that we move to the motion. Nobody has made a direct motion. Now, if Doug recognized Harriet directly and she withdrew, you have a different thing. So I mean, that was why that.
I have not recognized that yet.
A little help from Chairman Parker, if he has anything to say on this.
My name really should not be taken.
But no, I believe that we are at the election of secretary. Let somebody in this delegate, from the delegation object to that.
We have a motion on the floor. It's been seconded to move to the regular agenda, which would be the secretary. What name and delegation? What point do you rise?
I'm not sure of the order, but can explain to us that this can be taken to the council review if someone has concern. I think pending that action, we should suspend the discussion of this and move forward with our action.
Okay. Any debate on the other side of the issue? If not, we'll move to the vote, and the vote is on the motion to move back to the agenda, which would be the election of the secretary. All those in favor, please say aye. And all those opposed, nay. Hearing no nays, motion carries. We'll move on to the election of the secretary. Do we have any nominations for secretary? But I know it's a thankless job. We don't need a second. I'm sorry, we don't need a second on nominations. Are there any other nominations for secretary? If so, please let us know. Seeing none, I'm going to ask a second time, any nominations for secretary? And the third time, any nominations for secretary? Hearing none, seeing none. The nomination be closed. Motion made by Pam Janet from Burke County. All those in favor by acclamation of Joe Miller. I think most of you know, a couple of years ago, the plan of organization was changed and treasurers are appointed. Because we look for a certain skill set, we are very fortunate to have that satisfied. I think, by the way, you'd be interested in knowing, and this is with David's own research, that something like half the districts have filing problems.
A lot of the districts have filing problems, and for you county chairs, I would advise you to talk to your treasurers and see if they are having problems. And by problems, I define as with the state BOE, the Board of Elections. They have over the past year or so, maybe even longer with the COVID, started dumping down on treasurers and their reports and are nitpicking. Well, there's not a treasurer who is a professional accountant. They are all volunteers. And we need to make sure that they are supported. I've discussed this with Doug, and he framed it up to the state party system for maybe better training, but also better understanding with the state board of elections, who is all professional. Not simply private. So, you know, it's, and penalties have been put out there everywhere. And penalties can range from $15 to $250 a day for up to 10 days. Well, that can wipe out some of the state parties' treasury. But I've looked at some of the treasury and how much money some of you have, and it's not good. And, you know, for whatever reason, it's a tough time for us, but I want y'all to talk to your treasurers, make sure they are in good shape. If they're having problems, I'll try to help them out whatever way I can. So, thank you.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes,
Evan Sparks, Pittsburgh County Treasurer, one, yes, no privilege if I may.
Yes.
One question to the speaker, really. As Pittsburgh County Treasurer, I really appreciate remarks. I think it's right to the near the heart of the matter. And as a newbie to the treasurer role, coming from 25 years in business, I know how to balance flow. The problem may not be with the Board of Elections. The problem may not be with the treasurers being volunteers. The problem may be with the software. And I think that I'd be happy to help organize an ad hoc meeting of treasurers to sound them out and see where the problems are. I'd be more than happy to talk.
Okay, you and I get together and talk. He's right. Some of it is with state software, which they like their own program.
And they did it 90 years ago.
It is,
Old.
there's things that happen that are for us to do.
I'm Rich Waterman, treasurer for Lincoln County. And over the last year and a half, 2 years, we were audited by the State Board of Elections.
Everybody has.
And it took me numerous, basically 40-hour weeks to put everything in order and get it going. And, you know, the software that they have that we use is antiquated.
Putting it, I think.
It's more than antiquated. I mean, it's prehistoric. But I've also been told by the people at the State Board of Elections that they proposed new software and that the legislature told them that, no, we're not providing any money for them. So we're stuck with the current software. And I also volunteer to help any other counties that need help with that. I've gained lots of experience recently. Not happily, but lots of experience.
thank you for that.
Thank you. Y'all saw my budget a while ago. I have a half dozen entries in a year. Some of you counties have hundreds every quarter. So.
Thank you. So obviously, we're going to, we're going to obviously reappoint David, and I think I would sense the body here. That's a good move. So again, in our flexible framework, while we're waiting for the Secretary of State to arrive, we actually asked our candidate from the last election, Pam Janan, to give us a little flavor of a campaign. This isn't a pitch. This is her comments about what it's like to run for Congress. Pam Janan.
Thank you, everybody, for being here today. I know most of you in this room, but if you don't know me, I am Kim Janan, and I had the honor and the privilege of being your 10th district congressional candidate in 2022, last year. And I'm just going to ask to talk a little bit about what it was like to run as a candidate in a very rural, very red district. And I'm not going to lie to you, it was a challenge. I spent 5 hours a day, 5 days a week, sitting in a room, making phone calls, trying to convince potential donors that they need to donate to the 10th district, to my race, to our race, so that we can make a change here that not only helps our district and our counties, but it helps statewide seats as well. And yeah, that was a challenge. I talked to some wonderful people. I made approximately 250 to 300 dials every day. If you've ever done phone banking, call time is like phone banking on steroids. I talked to maybe a dozen people a day, and some of them were very nice. I also had some rude comments, a gentleman in Raleigh who I didn't even ask him for any money, but he said, Pam, I really don't care about Western North Carolina. So break my heart, I do. And everybody needs to care about Western North Carolina, because we are one state, and that's how we win statewide races, is by investing in rural counties in red districts. So we need good candidates to run, and I know what it's like. I knew that it was a losing race. I knew I was falling on the sword, but we need to motivate volunteers. We need to organize counties. We need to motivate more people to become involved in this process. So we need good candidates running. And I absolutely love the best part of the whole campaign was working with each and every one of you in all of the 9 counties that make up this district. And I was able to spend some time with some wonderful people. And I just want to mention a few. Councilwoman Doris Allison of Ward 3 in Statesville, who is not here today, but she showed me out there in Iredell County, the renovated rec center and the new splash pad that they are proud of in her minority district in Iredell. She also showed me as we walked around the district, a little balloon type memorial on somebody's lawn, where a couple of days prior, a little 5-year-old girl was shot and killed in a drive-by shooting when she was out playing in her own yard. I went down to Cleveland County and met with Jamie and Kaya at the Old North Farm in Shelby. Amazing people, amazing farm, where they are experimenting in this program with tropical food crops to see how well they will grow here in our changing climate of North Carolina. So they are protecting our food and the future of farming here. I met with Matt Cooksey, who is out there in Alexander County, who donates his time, volunteers as the director there for the Habitat for Humanity. And I got to speak with a young woman who, like most young people today, don't even think about home ownership as a possibility on their horizon. And because of the efforts of the Alexander County Habitat for Humanity, she is now a homeowner. I'm very proud of her. I talked to Teresa in Catawba County, who, like many people, because of changing jobs, her family has gone in and out of healthcare coverage. And so that she has had to make those tough decisions, whether she gets her prescription filled, or she puts food on the table, or she puts shoes on her kids' feet. And we all know stories like that. I met with Miss B out there in Bessemer City in Gaston County. She invited me into her home. I have met her family, and she is a driving get out the vote force. in her little area of Gaston County. Wahali in Burke County, member of the Hmong community. We had dinner together and she talked to me about the struggles of the Hmong that are here in our district. And she is a beautiful spirit and a wonderful writer. And she is out there fighting for the Hmong in Burke and Catawba counties and around the state. I met up with Richard and Mickey and Steve in Lincoln County, and we had beer and tacos, and it was just a breath of fresh air for a few hours to be able to pull away from the campaign a little bit, hear about everything that is going on in Lincoln County and the growth in the downtown, and just be able to laugh and talk to some really good folks here in our district. In Granite Falls, in Caldwell County, I met with the people on Bended Knee is the name of the organization. They are veterans that are helping veterans, a totally veteran-driven nonprofit organization. They go hunting, they go fishing, and they provide a safe space for veterans and their families to kind of get together and feel that camaraderie as they transition from military life back into civilian life. They're doing good work. And then I spent time with Courtney Bohannon and some other community leaders in Rutherford County, and we had dinner. And we talked about everything that is going on in Rutherford County and the growth and the Black community there and the things that they are proud of and the struggles that they are having in Rutherford County. It's a thriving community and building for the next generation. There are so many more people that I was able to talk with, and it just made the congressional race so rewarding. Following the race, I had the opportunity to go to all 100 counties. And I talked to business owners, I talked to homeless people, I talked to people in businesses, the patrons, I talked to people hanging out at libraries, and I talked to county party officers as well. Somebody's getting a phone call? And that I recommend that to anybody. If you want to get to know people, just go out into your communities and talk to people. Ask them what the best part of their county is. You know, ask them what keeps them awake at night. And you will find out what your struggles are in your county. And I'm talking to the party officers. The one thing that resonated with me is that they feel underappreciated, they feel ill-equipped, they feel untrained, and they are out there on the front lines. We are the grassroots, and they are looking for trainings and help in any way they can. So my former campaign manager, Gabriel, and I, we formed an organization to donate. I will donate my time so that we can go out there and help train these, especially these rural counties that don't have the training and the tools that they need. Whether it's new officers that need to find their way around their new role, whether it's precinct organization, budgeting, strategic planning, fundraising goals, building volunteers, phone banking, vote builder, anything that you need. If you want to call me, I feel like I have been so blessed by all of you and the hard work that you have put in to the district that it's time to give back. So I'm gonna give you my personal cell number if you don't have it. It's 828-443-0221. That's 828-443-0221. And I know most of you have it anyway, but that is my personal number. Call me and let's talk about what you need. If we cannot do it ourselves, we will find people to do it. Yeah, we will find somebody because we need to be organized. We need that strength. Our district is rural and it's red, but we are strong and we are fighting. And we get stronger every day. I think we need to remember that when they talk about grassroots organizations, that's us. We are those grassroots. And, you know, we have to be independently strong counties and districts so that when the coordinated campaign comes in and they start doing their persuasion tactics with the more red-leaning unaffiliated and Republicans, that we have our get out the vote on point, that we know what we're doing. We have our volunteers ready. So you have my cell phone number. Give me a call if you just want to talk or if you want me to come to your county. I want to thank you for all that you do because it's without you, none of this happens. And so I am so proud to call you all my friends and family. And I'm thankful to the chairman here for leading the charge because without strong leadership, you know, we wouldn't have this. So thank you all so very much. And I am so blessed to know you.
I think Doug is, out and about. Is, Elaine? Oh, she's on there. Okay.
Timing was perfect, and thank you so much for a well-oiled machine. We are so excited to have the Secretary of State, Elaine Marshall, who, really broke so many barriers in this state. First woman elected to the state council, I believe 7 times after that. Rumor has it is running for an 8th term. Educator, state senator, and for many years was the leading vote getter in the Democratic Party in the state of North Carolina. I'm thrilled to have the opportunity to bring Secretary of State Elaine Marshall to Lincoln County and 10th Congressional District.
I'm so sorry, my husband is not here, he is parking the car, and he's seen you all get up, when I came, I would tell him that's how you're supposed to act. I don't think he can buy it. It is so good to be with you all, it's always good to be with a group of vigorous Democrats, and in some districts, you just become strong and energized because of the hand you've been dealt in so many ways, and so thank you all for that. This is a wonderful, good sound system. Okay, good. I do want to thank you for all your support in past elections. I've been very blessed by great support from the public, and I'm just thrilled. Let me say that I do not want any recording of this speech. I know some of you might like to do that. With technology the way it is these days, I'm just better off if it's not out there. I'm just sorry to say that. So it's for your ears, not for your little machine. So thank you very much. I am honored and have been honored to be the first woman elected to the Council of State. You know, when I started that, I'd been in the Senate, and people said, a female senator from a rural district, I don't think so. I said, And when I started running statewide, people said, well, can you win a statewide race? I said, yeah, I think I can. And then when I won the primary, it was for the right to run against Richard Petty. And people said, oh, you'll never do it. And I said, just watch me. With your help, I did it. I ran for an office that is often overlooked, misunderstood, and many people don't know all the many, many things that we do. So my campaign message at that time was that I'm a serious candidate for a serious job, and I still remain that today. I'm surprised each and every time there's been a statewide general election that the Republicans that file for it somewhere along the line go, oh, you don't do elections? You know, that's why they want to run for the office. They want to run elections. They don't have enough knowledge about what's going on to even know that part of it. And then they realize some of the stuff we do is complicated. And, so I'm still a serious candidate for a serious job. With the opportunity that you have given me, we have modernized the office completely. We have pioneered e-commerce in government. We provided transparency at a level never before, 24/7 and for free with vital business information that folks
need to make good business decisions. In many states, the type of stuff that we have has a financial barrier, quick fee, all that kind of stuff that's financially related. We also robustly enforce the criminal laws that we have. We have security scams that we are trying to prevent and protect seniors from having their retirement funds or any other funds that they may have scammed away. We enforce laws protecting people from shoddy merchandise, fake things, fake or adulterated drugs, and protect from shoddy electrical appliances with defective wiring that create fire hazards. Our mission is to promote economic development and consumer protection. So that's basically in a nutshell what we do. We play a role in North Carolina's business economy, and North Carolina is #1 for business. And with your help for re-election, I'll continue to do my part to make that happen again. North Carolina is enjoying a new age of entrepreneurship since mid-2020, a little bit after the pandemic began. We have been recording record numbers of LLCs and business corporations, and business formation has been record levels year after year. My folks today, every business day, are doing over 650 to 700 new business entities. Yeah, that's good last year. I'm so proud of that. We developed some technology to try to eliminate bottlenecks, because that's always a problem in a big administrative process. You've got bottlenecks, you've got to find ways to get around them. It's where people make mistakes, and then we have to communicate back, and we have to wait for something to come back, and the money's already been deposited, and we got to keep money and paperwork all aligned. And so to eliminate that bottleneck is a great saving for us. But here's the news. First quarter 2023, we just concluded, was record setting over every other prior quarter. So the trajectory is still going up, 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 up like this. And a great majority of these are being formed by women and minorities. People want to take charge of their own destiny. So the business activity that I'm talking about is all across the state, and some of our especially higher numbers are in tier 1 counties, those more economically disadvantaged. So I find that a very hopeful, resourceful way that people are taking charge. So we want all of these businesses to be successful, but I'm focusing keenly on rural areas. Our small towns in our rural areas are hurting, and they're suffering economically, and we as a state need to do all we can to promote rural entrepreneurship and boost what potential they have. To answer that, I have started a project called Rural Rise NC. The RISE part is capital letters RISE, and it's resources for innovators, startups, and entrepreneurs. The state of North Carolina and nonprofits offer a lot of helpful information, good, confidential, accurate information, but the public doesn't know about it. So we're the first ones that know that they're going to start. So now this Rural Rise started as a bulletin that was customized to local areas to tell folks what's available. And the information in the bulletin is based upon surveying that we have done with newly formed corporations and LLCs, asking them what kind of assistance would they have liked? What were the obstacles? What were they wishing they had known before they began? And where did they get their information before starting? Well, we realized that we're the very first place, because 52% of them said they got it from the Secretary of State. All we have is telling the difference between a corporation and an LLC and a nonprofit, not all the underlying foundational information that you need to think about before getting into business. So that's how this Rural Rise bulletin, and now it's on the web, sosnc.gov/rise, sosnc.gov/rise, where people can get this stuff. Now we force feed it out to them. Everything that we send back to these newly created entrepreneurs, this information is in there. Our click-through rates are higher than average. We're getting results from lenders that are saying that people understand, or telling them that they got information from us. So we're trying to put them in contact with the things that they need. We have committed 33 counties. And when I say what they need, It is a name, a direct phone number, a direct email that a person that has it is supposed to do and will do this kind of stuff. Because to tell people, oh, call Raleigh about that, you might as well tell them, go to the moon. They'd rather get a needle in the arm than hang of calling Raleigh up for something. So these are direct, as local as they possibly can be. And I'm not sure how many counties in this district are considered rural, but by the time we're finished, all 100 counties will be in there. It's just that the urban counties seem to have a better knowledge ecosystem, and the rural counties need to develop those ecosystems. One of the key things that folks said they wanted in that was a checklist. We have that. That would apply to any business, no matter what in the state. So those resources are up there for folks anywhere they are. The reason, and I make no apology about it, is that we're concentrating on rural is because we've got to have better economic development in our rural counties. They do not need to be second class type areas. That I grew up in a rural county, not in this state, but in another state, where I felt disadvantaged because of where I live. And I am committed to not let geography be a barrier towards prosperity. I'm doing all I can in my power to make all these rural counties more economically stable and prosperous. The other thing that we do, and I'm going to do one of these Monday in Transylvania and Henderson County, is have small business roundtables where we get small business people that we invite in, and also the community college and the county council and county commission to listen. The stars of this show are the small business entrepreneurs. We go through our survey results and then we have them respond to them. Does it apply to this county? And we've had some amazing discussions. And my altar call when I leave that county is, now you guys know what your local folks want. You also know that there are resources from the state. Now y'all get together and figure out what are going to be programs that will help the entrepreneurs, whether it's a boot camp for entrepreneurs locally, whether it's small grants for merchants who have downtown stores that they're not really upgrading and therefore they don't attract a quality tenant. So it's a whole lot of things like that that I'm hopefully inspiring them to do. So I'm pitching in, and by the way, we need more presence of some people in rural areas helping people. Just saying. We've lost the rural areas of this state politically, so. I mentioned earlier my gratitude and pride as the first woman to hold a council of state position elected statewide in North Carolina. And I have that historic designation. And because of that, I get asked by women who are thinking about public service, whether it's elected or appointed, for advice. And I do speak with so many of them. I consult with some of them as things go on about what they can expect in elected office or in the campaign trail. I spend a lot of time speaking to women's groups about leadership, success, self-confidence, and other things. These efforts have brought personal rewards to me and results to the public. And so I'm proud of that. But I see a very dark cloud for women going into the future. I believe women need several things: meaningful life, education, specific training, equal opportunity for jobs, advancement, leadership, self-confidence building experience, equal opportunity for happiness, no matter what their life pathway might be. This dark shadow or cloud that I see is based upon a lack of autonomy over our own body. As of this week, North Carolina women will have no rights, basically none, to make their own health care decision. The legislature has made it for them. And I don't know about you, but I want the legislature telling me what my health care options are. What happened this past 2 weeks basically has been deeply disturbing on so many fronts. Number one, we now live in a state with effectively a ban on abortion. They talk about it in weeks, but they put so many other obstacles over facilities, providers, and process that's totally unnecessary, now requiring excessive travel, wait times, Number of weeks granted is not the measure of access. Overcoming all of those obstacles within that period of time that is the obstacle. Number two, doctors say they don't understand the new law. How close to death must a woman be for the save her life aspect to come into play? Also, the bill was done in the dark, done in secret. There were no committee hearings. There was very little floor debate. No amendments could be offered on the floor. For so many citizens, their constitutional right of redress and free speech were just frittered away. And so much for separation of church and state, since this ban is religious driven. This bill is an affront to democracy and constitutional rights on so many fronts. It was done in the dark because Republicans didn't want to have information. They didn't want to conduct committee debates. They didn't want the public to hear real life situations of women who partially miscarried or something happened that she needed an abortion in order to keep from bleeding to death or from developing life-threatening sepsis. How sick does a woman have to be? Now physicians will have to play a guessing game as to how close to death a woman needs to be before life-saving exceptions come into play. To satisfy the hospital's risk aversion, medical folks are telling me it's very confusing language, and we know hospitals and providers don't want to take a risk and have a lawsuit and go to jail. Who knows how those things will play out. The legislature did not want to hear about women who are told much later in pregnancy that her baby doesn't have a kidney or a heart or a brain and is not viable and is not going to live. Under the new law, she will be forced to deliver a full-term baby that she may be able to hold for 10 minutes of its non-viable existence. That would be an unthinkable emotional punishment for any woman in that situation. Now, right-wing thinking doesn't want us to think about the facts. We know that. Let's also consider untreated or untreatable conditions that must continue under the ban that causes a woman to lose her uterus, so she's incapable of future pregnancies. Our legislature did not want to acknowledge that pregnancy is a high-risk circumstance for women. I wonder if they watch TV. Now, you may think, why is she saying that right now? How many times sitting there in your living room have you heard, don't take this medication if you are or may become pregnant? There must be a reason they say that. But the thinking of the right-wingers didn't get that. They have misled the public when they refuse to acknowledge that a fetus with severe abnormalities is not murdering an unborn child. Women are going to suffer and die as a result of this legislation. If all of this bothers you like it bothers me, we know what we can do. It is there are many other reasons to organize, communicate, register voters, educate voters on how to vote, and actually then deliver that vote. Here's a few of these other reasons. There's a huge power grab going on by the party of small government and freedom. They are redistricting of local county elections against those people's will, making nonpartisan school boards partisan elections. I call both of those rigged, but anyway. Reducing the powers of the governor. So much for checks and balances. It's taking away the governor's appointment power for boards, commissions, and judges. And after all, the governor has a constitutional mandate to administer the laws and run the state. Now, they can't redistrict the state. You know, redistricting is at the basis of all of their work. So they're taking away or underfunding aspects of government, of programs that we don't like. They are into the greatest power grab right now of the higher educational system of this state and the community college. You know, this is ruled by a minority. That is what we have. We have more Democrats registered in the state than Republicans. We have more unaffiliates registered in the state, each individually, than Republicans. So it is a minority government. Now, to remain in power, a minority government Minority government must either be benevolent with satisfied citizens, are we that? Or heavy-handed to autocratic with oppressive, dissatisfied citizen. I think that's us. Another extremely unsettling situation regards our public schools. They fail to treat educators as the professionals they are by pay issues, limiting language used, limiting books. They're now doing curriculum jujitsu and rewriting history. They are happy to fund private religious schools for all income families, and yet will not fund the Leandrew case, where over 25 years ago, it was determined the North Carolina Constitution mandate on education was not met due to funding disparities, and that disparity continues to today. This educational system is a self-fulfilling political plan. It's actually a circular problem. There's a downward spiral. Schools are underfunded. It's a Republican campaign on failing schools, failing students, and yet they take precious school dollars from those schools and give them to private, mostly religious schools that don't have to meet many standards and discriminate against many people. It's totally backwards thinking. Struggling schools, so we drain their resources, and then guess what? They continue to struggle. No brainer. Let's not forget our precious climate. Governor Roy Cooper is doing all he can through executive orders to move state government into energy efficiency. The state is being selected by various companies for climate saving manufactured production. Examples: the Toyota battery plant in Randolph County. VinFast, a major electronic car manufacturer, is locating a plant in Chatham County, and there are now other supply chain folks, manufacturers coming to our state. If you add to that, with thanks to the Biden administration, the CHIPS Act, investing in American production of microchips that control and operate so many of the things that we use. Wolfspeed is already a North Carolina company. It used to be Cree. If you're not familiar with the name Wolfspeed, but if you're in this, you understand Wolfspeed. That was for you, darling. He's a Wolfpacker. Wolfspeed is into the silicone chip manufacturing business, and they are now into a huge expansion in Research Triangle Park. We cannot let other countries, friendly or unfriendly, control American manufacturing. This is a tremendous move forward. The Biden administration pushed that through, and we all should be grateful. President Biden was here less than a month ago at Wolfspeed's Durham. That's their plant that they already operate out of, manufacturing facility, and delivered a marvelous speech about infrastructure and supply chains. Even though the legislation solution to a lot of this climate stuff was that sea level was ordered to not rise. If you remember that. We are making good progress on renewable energy, whether it's battery, wind, solar, or biomass. Since we don't like things as they are, what are we going to do going forward? We're going to make a plan. Filing opens up in December. That's a few months away. So number one, we're going to recruit candidates for every legislative opportunity. In the years when we did that, we had better turnout and better results, especially benefiting our judges.
Yeah.
Every single candidate brings a different set of electorate. You know, local people stay home if they feel like there's nobody to vote for. We need there to be local people on each and every ballot that folks can vote for. So we've got to show success there. Number two, we've got to support our new youthful leaders of this party. I'm very impressed with our new leadership. You know, the key to victory, in my opinion, is going to be the youth vote and the unaffiliated vote. Now, we got to get our base out. We got to get our regulars out. But young women, talking about youth, are very unhappy about the future. We need to work so that they understand what's at stake. We need to get them ready to vote. on both the issue of reproductive rights and climate issues that are so very important to this next generation. Number three, we need simple messaging on important issues from trusted resources to counter Fox and all the misinformation poison that comes from God knows where, but poisons people's mind. Fox has people in fear. You know, they're coming after you. Everyone else is an enemy. So fear is powerful. So what have folks done? They've armed to the teeth. There are some rational fears. Fears that resonate with names like Sandy Hook, Parkland, Uvalde. Fear of walking up to the wrong front door. Fear of chasing a child's ball into a neighbor's yard. Fear of approaching the wrong car or into the wrong driveway. And my fear is the realization that no amount of innocent deaths will change gun legislation in America as long as our governing body is held in minority representation. Majority opinion is that we need limitations on ownerships of weapons of war, serious background checks, red flag laws, and more. The great Republican diversion is to blame all this on mental health. Well, I see no overwhelming assistance in mental health since they've been saying that, but mental health does have a lot to do with it. But widespread availability of weapons enables the problem. People are part of the problem. So rational limitations on age, backgrounds, violent aggressive history would be a real good starting place. There is pending at the General Assembly basically a concealed carry law for everybody. The legislation has been introduced, but Senator Berger says it's not moving because this is the exact quote, the time is not right. He is correct. He is correct. Just think, Allen, Texas shopping center, Farmington, New Mexico, Nashville school shooting. You're right. The time is not right, but the time is never going to get right because these mass casualty incidents are a tragedy, a blight on this country. We're the only developed country that has this issue. It's all about weapons and access to weapons. I think I've raised enough issues to disturb you a lot. I apologize. But we need to work, we need to organize, and we need to produce like never before. That's my intent. That is my commitment. And I hope you will join me in that commitment.
Remind you of coming to District 10, and you know that we love you and we want you to come to any county, and you're so good to come west. You know that it's further west in North Carolina than Interstate 77.
If I'm ever in the bunker, I want Betsy Wells in there. Thank you. This is my husband, Tommy, my faithful driver. Mom, you missed it. They stood up and clapped like he did. Do it again. So I'm looking to get motivated today and just work on it between November 24th. Thank you.
Thank you, Secretary of State Elaine Marshall. Did we promise stand and deliver?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Sorry.
We are ready to do a little auction action, and I think Betsy's going to do spearhead that effort. What do you want to do for me? Right. Okay. We got Attorney over to you.
Joe from Cleveland County over here, and Donna, if you would show them what we got to do. I want y'all to please stand up. If you now feel like it, stand up.
All right, I want you to wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. Come on, let's move around. Let's wiggle. We've been sitting for a little bit. Now I want you to find your pocketbooks or your wallet. You can, all right, David, you don't have. Well, Pam, you could send a check.
I need to.
Yeah, we know where you live. Meetings down, you can sit down and you know where your money is. I'll take the sheet from up there and stand there at the bottom. Let's start with number one. All right, and what is yours down? Okay. Yeah, Harry, you'll. All right. Y'all, as you look around the front of the stage. All right, and Donna is now Dana Lucky. Is modeling her first item. It is from the Cleveland County Democratic Party, and it is a beautiful hydrangea. All right, what's my first bid? Can we start it at 10? All right, 10, 10, 10, 10, 15, 15, 15, 15, 15, 15, 15. Well, she's already 15, 20, 20, 20, 20, 20, David. Now, listen, David. I've got to tell this story. When Steve and I were dating, he was in graduate school in Carolina and I was in Appalachian, and we didn't have any money. He came to see me one weekend and we went over to Blue and Rock because they would liquidate estates and at the auction houses, you could have a nice evening watching people's diamonds be sold and all that. Well, we were there, and so I leaned over and I said to Steve, "Are you ready to go?" And he nodded his head. And they said, "Some with the red shirt on." And we didn't have like $25. So luckily, the person on front of us bid $2,550, and we got up left. So if you wiggle, then you bid. All right, going back to $20 here, 20, 20, 20, 25, 25 in the back, 25 to 30, 30, 30, 30, come, keep going, it's a beautiful 35, 40, 40 here in the back, 40, 40, 40, 40, 40, 40, 40, going 45, 45, 40, 50, 50, 55, okay, 60, 60, 65, 70, 70, we're here at 70, 70 going once, 70 going twice. So to the young lady in the striped shirt, oh, wait a minute, you got your bid in before I said so. So what is, it's 80? She bid 70. Yeah. No, we're not going backwards. Make money. All right, and right here, if you'll come down here to Donna and the group, you'll build, there's a form you fill out. Just come on down, $70. All right, you take it, you take her to the plan. Okay. That is number one. All right, the one in the striped shirt right here. Let me take my glasses off so I can see. All right, moving on. Number two. This is from the Painted Lady. This Painted Lady is a former English teacher at Kings Mountain High School. Who just as just a hobby, and now she has a small business. She does cake plates and all kinds of things. And inside this cake plate, it's the beautiful sunflowers, is a coconut cake. Everybody could eat cake on the weekend. All right, we'll start it at $25. All right, 25, 25, 25. Now that's for the cake and the cake box. 25, 30, 30, 30, 30, going 30, 30, 30, 30. Wait, No, he said 30, you're 35. All right, 40. Good to see my good friends from my precinct in Grover. Thank you. All right, 40, 50. All right, 50 going 50, 50 going once, 50 going twice. So, to Lane Martin. Good. Tommy's coming down. All right, we got that one. Now, this is a candle. Sea salt candle. Also from Cleveland County. And it's, oh, it smells so good. We'll start the bidding at $10. $10, Deborah. All right, 10, go 1, 10, 15, 20. Oh, beautiful candle. It lasts long for one night. All right, 20. All right, 20 going once, 20 going twice. What's up? Wait. All right, 25. All right, 25. Any more bids on the candle? 20, 25. Hit 25 going once, 25 going twice. So, to the from precinct. Good, thank y'all. All right. Down. Okay, thank you. Oh, y'all, this is a table fountain with an LED light. It's called Serenity, and it's supposed to calm us down. Maybe we need 3 or 4 of you. All right, a table fountain, LED light, Serenity. All right, let's start with bid $20. $20. All right, $20. Thank you. $25. $25. $25. $25. $30. $30. The table and the LED light. 30. Any, oh, 35. Taking them all. 35. All right. 40. 45. Okay, 45. All right, down here is 45. All right. 45. Going once, going twice. No. Remember all those expenses we have to pay to bring the cultural center, everything helps them. One is very unique. Donna's got it right here. All right. This is local savory food basket, complete with sourdough bread, made by Democrats, honey, the soap, goat cheese, lip balm, citrus fig preserves and pickles, honey, and a dozen eggs. And you need to be careful with them because they're not hard boiled. They are regular eggs. Eggs. All right. Open the bid for $20. All right, 20, 25, 30. And David Parker.
$100.
All right. You did, David.
You knew what you
All
wanted.
right. 100. Anybody else gonna bid? 100. Going once. Going twice. 100 to David Parker. 20 to David. All right.
I gotta go to the car.
Always right there. Well, all right. The next is a piece of pottery by Bobby Black. It's a platter. It's right there. And Bobby is the wife of Judge Dean Black. And she has from Lincoln County. And she is nestled under a canopy of oak leaves beside the blue waters of Lake Norman. Sounds like a song, doesn't it? Artist Bobby Black creates pottery as resplendent as her surroundings. Whether functional or decorative, hand-built or wheel-thrown, Bobby's artistic endeavors are diverse and creative. And Donna is showing you the plaque. It is beautiful. So who starts the bidding at $40? 40, all right, $40 down here, 40, 40, 40, 40, 45, Deborah, 40, 45, 45, it's beautiful handmade flower. It's, all right, 45, 45, 45, I'll do 50, 50, 50, 50, 50, anybody else want to go higher than 50? Anybody, Deborah, anybody? All right, going once. Going, Doug, over here. Oh, Doug. That's so. So 55, all right, 55, 55, 55, 55, going once, going twice. So to Doug Allen. Yeah, I think you need that blue with that, yeah. I want y'all moving down, you got it, you should, we will, and there are things left to buy, so I hope you're finding more money, or where your pocketbooks are going from there. Yes. Okay. Oh, that's, wait a minute. Is this another one? All right, y'all, we have another sweet local food basket from Catawba County. Sourdough, oh, this sourdough bread is a bigger loaf. Cinnamon raisin bread. Goat cheese, dilly beans, strawberry jam, honey, homemade strawberry jam, and probably honey from the bees. Peach maple bourbon preserve. Oh, let's see the $50. So lip balm. All right, let's open it at $40. She's gonna go 40, 45. All right, 45. 55, 60. All right, 60, Joyce. All right, 60, 60. $100 went down front. All right, $100. Pam, 120. All right, Pam has done 120, 120, 120, 120, 120, 120, going once, going twice. No, Pam for $120. All right, no. Okay, what have you got, Don? Oh, it's the. Oh, this is from county. This is a collection of campaign buttons. And yeah. $40, $40, $100. All right, $40, $40, 40, I'll do 45. 50, all right, $50. 50, I'll do 60. I'll do 60. All right, Deborah. No 60. All right, $60, and let's look at all these buttons, y'all. Some of these you don't find. All right, 60. Where's 60? Okay. All right. David, you gonna get on the buttons? That's all the money you've got. Thank you for donating to this. All right, $60. I've got the bid. Anybody want to bid more? All right, 60 going once, 60 going twice, so to the auctioneer. Now that's right. Yeah, that's right. All right. All right. if you would- Okay. All right. What now? This is the from Frank Middleton, the potter. Says, ceramics in a way, well, anyway, she said, when I signed up for my first potter lesson, it showed of interest in my family history and direct ancestry. David Hartshog was a potter of German descent who made pots from the 1825 to 1870 in the North Carolina Catawba Valley pot tradition. I grew up in the same community where these pots were produced. I love their aesthetics and their history. So I got inspired to make utilitarian alkaline glazed pots that until I tried digging clay on the family farm in western Lincoln County and observed a wood fire groundhog kiln being loaded and fired. I love adventure, but have a little bit too much adventure. Now, 20 years into my day journey, the similarities between these Catawba Valley pots and my salt fried Sephardon pots may not be obvious. And so this is the Hartshog pottery and Lorraine Middleton, all right, from here in Lincoln County. All right, she's got, what else in there, Don? Okay, a candle stand. And a candle. Yes. Okay, and you get the basket too. All right, so let's start getting in $40. Anybody? $40, $50, 55, 60. Oh, it's 65, 65, 70. 80. All right, with 85, 95, 100, 120. Oh. Yes, yes. All right, 120, 120, 125, 130. All right, 130, 130, 130 going once, 130 going twice. So.
Have you taken to Lincoln yet? Almost.
All right, now, where are we? Okay, we're on this side of the stage. Oh, okay, this is a combination. It's the pottery, it's the picture, and the book is Pottery Traditions in the Catawba Valley by Luke Hefner. All right, this piece of pottery was made by Luke Hefner. You will see his POTUS mark LH on the bottom of the piece. In addition, you will see this mark of C and it looks like a heart inside a square, which indicates that the piece was fired in the groundhog kiln at Hart Square in Catawba County. You can find more information about Luke and Hart Square in the book Valley of Plains that is also a part of this video. If you drive down the first few blocks of East Main Street in Lincoln, coming from the courthouse square, you will see several large pots on the sidewalks. These pots were turned by Luke Hefner and decorated by various potters in the area. We hope you enjoy this bit of our Lincoln County and Catawba Valley pottery heritage. All right.
$100.
All right, Cliff has bid $100. Is there anybody who wants more and another bid? All right, Gina. 105. 105, 105. All right, no. All right, once again, Arjana. 115, 115, 115, 150. All right, 150, yes, now this is paying our bills. All right, 150, 150 once, 150 twice. So. All right. All right, so. All right.
Okay, I'll tell you something. This next flag, Burke County is fortunate that we have a lot of government in our county. And one of the things we have is what used to be called the Western Carolina Center. And now it's J. Iverson Griddle Developmental Center. And it's for people who have a lot of handicap. And they try to keep them busy with different projects and teaching skills. And this is one of the things, I don't know, the state's flag is one of the things that some of them did there. And we purchased from the local shop that they have. And if you're in Burke County and want to stop by their shop, they're just right off Interstate 40. So, and I do encourage you to try to get down.
Okay, all right, thank you, David. All right, let's start the bidding at $25. All right, $25 scale from $30, $40, $40 to $45, $50, go up 50, 50, 50, what? $60, $70. Come on, we did.
75.
All right, 75, 80, 80 back here, 85, 85, 85, 85. Remember, we're playing pay bills. All right, 100. Jill has given us $100. She's bid 100. Anybody want to go more than 100? You can put it, all right, Pam, 120, 120, 125. 125, Joyce. 130, Joyce. All right, it's in the back. All right, going. All right, Joyce is bid 130. 135 has been bid. Come on, 135, 135, 135. Anybody else? Yeah, all right. 140, anybody? All right, 135 going once. 135 going twice. Thank you all for reaching into your pocketbooks and your wallets, and thank you for having a little bit of fun here at the convention. Thank you all very much.
Let's give it up for the Ontario. Clearly, an alternative profession in the making. I don't know the total, but the treasurer, David, suggested that we pay for the convention, which is really just the objective. I've always held. And we did. We did, thank you. Thank everyone for that. I've always felt that the district, we should not raise money in the district out of underneath our counties and our candidates. So we just try to run pretty lean here, and we do appreciate that. Okay, I think we are now to one of the most exciting parts of the program, my favorite, resolution.
Evidently, my comments about the treasurer and the problems instead of garbage. And I've had several comments made to me since then. So I would like the new treasurer here, who would like to be involved with it. Give me your name and email address, and I'll be in touch with you, and we'll see what we can do about organizing. Maybe make a union.
I actually advanced your willingness to work with the treasurer from all 100, I think there's 97 counties with Anderson a couple of weeks ago. And she specifically said, well, will he participate? Is he willing to, get involved? Which is just an observation. And I said, no, he wants to get involved. So there's a future to go on the state side of this. So you may get more than you bargained for. All right, are we up to resolution? Okay, we do have those, right? Okay. Is there any? Okay, so. Very good. Okay, so the first one is the resolution for children's health care. Are the advocates for these resolutions in the chamber? Not necessarily, right? Okay. Who's this one? This is from Burke. So does anybody from Burke, any delegate from Burke want to speak to this or read it, or do you want me to read it?
You want to submit it?
I feel inclined that this should be read. All right. All right, I will do the resolve. Okay, we are on resolution for children's health care. Resolved that North Carolina invests in rural health centers based in public schools, and resolved that North Carolina provides incentives for doctors, nurses, and other healthcare providers to work and live in the rural counties of North Carolina, prioritizing those counties with the most need. Is there any debate?
It's pretty self-explanatory.
Okay, but since you're at the mic,
Anyone who write it, it's pretty self-explanatory. A lot of our rural counties are, hospitals are downsizing, closing. A lot of people go to neighboring counties for healthcare. Question needs to be on.
is it, if it comes, when, this is voted out of town. All right, so let's start, I need a motion.
A motion that we accept them all as written, all in one, I don't know what you call it, one block.
All of Burke? All. All of the resolutions or only all of Burke's?
There are three that aren't. Yeah, but then I need here to state county.
Okay, then. Motion,
I can do it just first, I can do them all. So if it does them all, other conventions.
all right, so the motion I recognize is that we will vote on the Burke resolution as one. Do I have a second for that? Actually, do I have a first for it? Okay, so Pam's got the motion, we have a second. All right, do we have any debate on the motion to include them together? No, okay, so by acclamation, I know that they want to be held together. Now we'll go to the vote on the actual resolutions from Burke County. All those in favor of the resolutions from Burke County, please signify by raising your card. Thank you. All those opposed, raise the card. Seeing none, motion carries. Burke County resolutions. Okay, we are now going to go to, are all the rest from Cleveland? Okay, great. Is it your pleasure that you would like them,
Yes, Kent Levens, Cleveland County. So when I sent these, we had two that they're virtually identical, as you can see. But I would move that they be consolidated into one. Since the one from the South Shelby has the whereas it's neatly separated, I would move that be the one that we vote on, because the other one is, like I said, it's virtually identical. Elias may want to speak to the motion, but that's the point I would like to make. Just present one motion rather than two.
so recognized? Second.
I'll second it. It's Van Burke County.
Thank you. We're going to just vote on the motion to combine them. And then we will get to the debate on the resolutions themselves. All those in favor of combining Cleveland counties, signify, raise your card. All those opposed, same sign. Seeing none, we're going to address them all at once. Okay, do we have any speaker in the delegations that would like to speak in favor? Tina Claus, microphone, please. Name and county, please.
Or grab that. You can take this one.
Hello. So this resolution about the ERA is super important, and it is vital to all women so that we have equality and we can be considered citizens of the United States of America, because we're not in the Constitution except for the right to vote, which is important, but we're nowhere else. And so what has happened is that the Equal Rights Amendment was ratified, and the 38th state to do that was Virginia, and that occurred on January 27th, 2020. And at that moment, it became the 28th Amendment to the Constitution. But Barr and Trump wrote a letter for Trump to the Office of Legal Counsel and said, don't publish it. Don't publish it in the Constitution as the 28th Amendment, which to me, as a lawyer, is obstruction of justice. Okay? So when Biden took office, he could have published it on the first day, and he still hasn't. And we have to tell Biden, as the Democratic Party, this is a grassroots effort, it's coming from the precinct, coming to the district level, to tell the state of North Carolina Democrats, we want Biden to know that we're not going to publish. And all he has to do is he can pick up the phone and call the archivist. Archivist is an executive branch employee. Procedural duty to publish, no subjective power. Biden picks up the phone, publish the ERA as the 28th Amendment. Or Biden could do an executive order and do an Emancipation Proclamation of women, something grand. But he needs to do it now. We don't need to be fundraising off of women's misery. We need to be people. We need to be citizens. This issue is very dear to my heart. My sister is also an attorney. She's in Marshall, North Carolina, and Western North Carolina, and we wrote an amicus curiae brief. We actually had 80 amici, those are friends of the court, to the U.S. Supreme Court in October of 2020, trying to get the archivist to do his job. That was in the prior administration. And then in the Dobbs hearing, my sister wrote to the White House counsel. We wrote a motion in the Dobbs case before it was decided on June 24th and said, President Biden, please publish. So the North Carolina ERA Alliance, there's a lady who spoke, her name is Kate Kelly, she's an attorney. And I'm also on an ERA task force of a group of attorneys and people to help this. Kate Kelly had access to White House counsel, and this is what's important here, okay? She sat down with them and said, do y'all understand that the president could just pick up the phone and tell the archivist to publish? And they said, yeah, we do. And she's like, well, why hadn't he done it? And she said, well, it's political. So the president gets a lot of phone calls. He's not getting phone calls about the ERA. And we have to tie them together because they are together. The ERA provides strict scrutiny for women. The ERA provides people law under the law. You can't have a Texas bounty hunter law hunting women without the Texas bounty hunter law hunting men. Tell you, it has to be. And in North Carolina, legislators can't be citing action. We need Biden to publish the ERA. How can you help this?
District 14 just approved this resolution. This morning. We put it in front of District 12, we put it in front of District 2. So we're gonna have 4 districts sending a message to the North Carolina Democratic Party. Tell Biden to come to CRA. We mean it. Women need it. We need the men to say, women need it. We all need it. It'll help LGBT rights, everything.
Do anybody wants to speak, on the other side of the motion? The chief. That's fine, name and delegation.
Vicki Rowan, Lincoln County. The way the motion is written, it's resolved that that Shelby Central Precinct support. I move that the resolution be amended to say resolve that the 10th District Democratic Convention supports.
And that's fine. It would be fine for us to vote on it. We don't have to on the basis of once, if it is passed here, it will go as a district convention, from the 10th district to the state as our resolution. So your motion is moot in that sense, but that's what will happen. Thank you. Yes, ma'am. It would be 10th district resolution. It becomes a 10th district resolution once passed.
All right.
Bring the thing to account.
So, I mean, you good with that? All right, I'm sorry. Oh, hang on. I don't know that we need one. There's no debate on the other side. We can go to a vote. Right, all those in favor of the resolution, raise your card. Thank you. All those opposed to the resolution, raise your card. Motion, resolution carried. Congratulations. Okay, here's what we have left. We have a video from the governor and a video from the attorney general. And then we're going to go to announcements, and then we will entertain a motion to adjourn. So I'd like to go to the, Governor Cooper's.
Hey, North Carolina Democrats, welcome to your 2023 Congressional District Convention. Thanks so much for being here and joining Democrats in this important work. Your efforts today are critical to the party as we gear up for another important election cycle. From your neighborhood team, to your precinct, to your county, to your district, we are all working toward the goal of building a grassroots organizing powerhouse that will support a great democratic change. Power is in our people like you, who are stepping up, making change, your community. We've got a battle ahead of us. All eyes in the country are going to be on North Carolina in 2024. We know that President Biden will be counting on us to turn our state blue. I visited with him in the Oval Office just a little while ago and told him that we would make it happen in North Carolina. So I need your help to make that a reality. We may be facing some tough congressional maps in 2024, but we need our Democratic delegation back in Congress to fight for us. And we're determined to keep the governor's mansion in Democratic hands. And it's very important, just saw the fight for reproductive freedom. We have to make sure that we break the supermajority. Our next year, we're going to work hard to try and make sure we sustain some of them this time. We're going to have to get some Republicans on our side, but there's a lot of work we need to do to make sure that that happens. But making sure that we break the supermajority next time, part of that plan is making sure we have a Democrat running in every single legislative district. Recruiting those strong candidates starts now. It might be some of you right there in that room. Here's the bottom line.
We got a lot of work to do between now and November 24th, but I know we can do it. And the fact that you have shown up here on Saturday and dedicating time to make this state a better place gives me a lot of hope. We're fighting for stronger schools, better jobs, equality, more opportunity for all. Thanks for all that you have done and all that you're going to do to make sure North Carolina is a better place for everyone. Thanks a lot.
Our Attorney General, who is just in Burke County, last week, in fact.
Hello, Democrats. It has been a tough time in North Carolina, and I'm not going to sugarcoat it. We are seeing the Republicans in this General Assembly strip women of the reproductive freedoms. They are defunding public education, taking money away from public school students, give to wealthy parents to subsidize sending their children to unaccountable private schools. And of course, they are going after one of the most vulnerable members of our community. It is wrong, and it's on us. We can change it. We can change the future of North Carolina. We can make this an even greater state because you and I love this state profoundly. You are showing that by actually being at the district convention. You could be anywhere, but you've chosen to give up your time, your energy, and your effort to strengthen our party so that we can make North Carolina even better. I am eager as a candidate for governor to march arm in arm with you over the next 16 months so that we win elections, to the North Carolina Supreme Court. We win elections for the North Carolina General Assembly, and we win elections for the governorship of the state of North Carolina. I'm all in. I know you are as well, and I'm eager to work with you to get it all done and move North Carolina forward.
Thank you for spending time with us this morning. We want to cover announcements on the back. I'll read these very quickly because they're really one and the same, and then I think there's some from the floor. So the next SEC meeting, some of you are probably members, is June 24th, and I'm not exactly sure if it's somewhere in Raleigh. Okay. Well, the unity dinner, which follows the SEC meeting, I know it's in the NC State University. I'm not entirely sure I know where the SEC meeting is. Right, but anyhow, again, a number of you are probably members. It's an enjoyable 6 or 7 hours. It's akin to a root canal, but not honestly. I like the SEC meeting. My attitude is you meet twice a year. It's 12 hours, whatever. So that part's good. The unity dinner will feature both those speakers and of course party folks. Is there any from the floor? What?
Yes.
Yeah, but the other years they have an SEC meeting in roughly the same period, right? More or less.
Yeah, next year, what Betsy just said was next year is when we elect district delegates to the national convention. So that's included next year.
Also next year, this convention elects all the people to the from our CD to the standing committees of the party. So the planning of organization, the council of review, resolutions, and there's a credentials committee as well. So those are done on the even years and the officers are on the odd years. Was there any announcements from the floor?
I'm just really concerned that we should have candidates for every state legislative office, House and Senate, and we have to start now, and we have to pick people who can win. You know, most of my lifetime, the House and Senate in North Carolina were Democrats. I'd like to see it that way again, but it won't be that way if we don't find candidates. Think about who you know that to be an active Democrat. They have to be electable. And I hope you would just really think right now about finding candidates for this legislative office.
Yes, each point is well taken, because here's what's going to happen. These districts, the new districts, there's going to be, so you're clear, the House, the Senate, and the US House all will be redrawn sometime in September, October. And I actually had an interesting exchange with our state senator from Catawba on that a couple of weeks ago, and I said, I thought you were the guys that said that you can't change the district lines but once in 10 years. And his response was actually very good. He said, the legislature didn't draw those lines. We haven't done it yet. Those were the court lines. So there's no question what they're coming back with. But the point is, it's only going to leave maybe 6-7 weeks between seeing these districts and not even considering a law challenge that might happen. So between seeing the districts and then registration, I think, opens around December 4th, somewhere in that very narrow window. So here's the point. You've got to recruit candidates now to run for office. Never mind which district number it may be, go get the good candidates. We'll fit the districts later. We can't control that process. So go get the good candidates now. And what I've always said in Hickory and Catawba is get candidates willing to take it to the opponent. You've got to show the contrast between what you stand for and what they stand. Okay, so Cliff, you mentioned you had
I have an opportunity that I'd like to just mention before this group, and just by a little bit of an explanation. A former Republican Party chair in Catawba County and me as a former Democratic Party chair in Catawba County have come together over concerns for, as I know all of us express and have been expressing since January 6th of 2021, our concerns about an even bigger issue, if there is one, than electing Democrats or electing Republicans, and that is our constitutional republic and our democracy. And just briefly, I would want to point out this things. I want to quote this: "Things fall apart. The center cannot hold. Mere anarchy is loosed upon the world. The blood-dimmed tide is loosed, and everywhere the ceremony of innocence is drowned. The best lack all conviction, while the worst are full of passionate intensity." That was written by William Butler Yeats, as I know many of you may know, a very famous poem in 1919, following the consequences of World War I. Somehow or another seemed very relevant in 2021 with the attack on our Capitol. An ordered, law-based republic's enduring reality depends on the ability of its citizens to engage one another in reasoned civil debate. We must have an intentional conversation with people who do not necessarily agree with us. When in one survey, 86% of Republicans said that Democratic policies will destroy America, not just be wrong, destroy America. And when a like number of Democrats said the exactly same thing, the need for those conversations is becoming more and more crucial. So Bill and I believe that the political center can and must hold, and that doesn't mean you don't stand up for what you believe, whether it's left, right, or anything else. It's the way you do it that matters. And I wanted to mention that excuse me, I apologize, I'm scrolling down, so I have to read all of this thing. We have a constitutional republic. Republicans love to tell us we have a republic. I had a fight with my daughter about this. We have a republic. That's exactly right. That means representative democracy. That's what it means. It's simple. And it's not a big fight. But anyway, we are inviting on June 15th anyone who wants to take part other than, and I'd let them take part, but we're not asking elected officials to show up. The people who've already been elected to something, we're asking for people to show up on both sides of various issues, to sit down, get to know each other a little bit better, and hopefully, prayerfully in my case, hopefully be able to disagree without being disagreeable in what we're calling right now a civil civic conversation. June 15th, at the Patrick Beaver Library in Hickory, North Carolina, right off of 127. And from 5:30 to 7:30. That's because the library closes at 8. And so if any of you have any interest in this kind of discussion and getting to know people who don't agree with you, and we're not trying to get people to agree, we're trying to get them to talk and to understand how we talk together in America again without agreeing about the things that are important for our country, our children, our grandchildren. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Cliff. Two last items I wanted to mention. One is, last week, 2 weekends ago, I think I'm right about this, the Young Democrats elected out of Burke County in our congressional district. Dorian Palmer is the new president. I'm really excited. He's not available to do this today, but I did want to share that forward. A lot of good things come out of Burke, so I did want to mention that. Last item, Donna and I, well, Donna's really good at a lot of things. I'm not good at much, but what we both aren't good at all is social media. And the number one thing I hear about, you don't do a really good job as district chair, is because I don't have a website that's doing anything. So here's my request. Please give Donna, no, seriously. Find me, input me, text, phone number, you all have it. We are looking for someone who will take over our social media presentation for the 10th Congressional District Democrats. That's what we're looking for. Volunteer, of course, because we went through the whole budget. So really, I'm serious about this. We need somebody to do the work. Thank you.
Doug.
And on that same note, that I'm gonna be doing a training in Burke County on Monday at 6 o'clock at their headquarters, and in Rutherford County at 6:30 on Thursday, all about social media for political purposes, not just.
So you may churn the waters and get us somebody.
Yeah.
I want to be that person.
We're gonna be doing a training and a brainstorming, so, yeah.
Yes.
Burke County, Rutherford County.
Say the date and time.
Yep, it is this coming Monday, what's that, the 22nd?
Yes.
In Burke County at their headquarters, 310 South Sterling Street in Morganton. And it's at 6 o'clock. And then Thursday is at the Rutherford County headquarters, which is the 25th, I believe, and that's at 6:30. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
All right, good.
And in all that kind of combining everything, I gave her sure we know about and there we are working together in the blue power package doing exactly that. Sorry about that. Gabriel Sherwood from Catawba County. Pam and I are working together in the blue power package. Almost no touch on what's been said by a lot of people here, most especially Secretary Segley, Marshall, our rural counties. We need to get together, we need to organize and have candidates, have proper organization. But one thing we need, especially with a lot of new leadership, is training and education, and that's what we're providing. If anybody has any need for that, go to blueempowermentact.org, register, let us know what you need, we'll be happy to do it. We're not charging for anything, we do accept donations, but we're not charging, we'll come free of charge for social media, rhetorical analysis, precinct organization, campaign organization, auxiliary organization, and party organization.
Whatever you do.
Thank you.
$10 a ticket.
Yes.
For Florida.
Florida.
You gotta raise money. So,
Yeah.
on anybody else?
Chair will entertain a motion to adjourn. Second, please. Betsy Wells, Cleveland, all those in favor, say aye. All those opposed, say no. We're adjourned. Thank you for joining us.